Welcome, deeply curious listener, to another deep dive. Today, we're peeling back the layers on something utterly fundamental, something core to every meaningful connection we have.
That's right. We're talking about apologies and forgiveness.
Exactly. The twin arts, really. And we're looking at them not just as, polite words, but as truly essential skills, transformative skills for repairing, rebuilding, deepening our relationships.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely vital.
And for this deep dive, we're digging into some really practical wisdom. We're extracting the most powerful, actionable insights from excerpts of the Couple Therapy Workbook. It's by the very insightful Dr. Nader Attalla.
A fantastic resource.
It really is. So our mission today is, it's to give you a kind of shortcut, a clear roadmap to understanding these concepts: apology, forgiveness, and importantly, how to implement them in your own life so you can mend things, strengthen bonds, and just grow your relationships with more confidence.
And it's a journey we're all on, isn't it? This whole relational repair thing, whether we actively think about it or not. Because hurting each other, it happens. It's just an inevitable part of being human, of being vulnerable enough to connect deeply. But the real mastery, the power that Dr. Attalla talks about, it lies in how we navigate those hurts.
Right. It's not about avoiding them entirely.
Exactly. These aren't just, social niceties. They're fundamental skills. Mm-hmm. Skills that let our relationships not just survive bumps in the road, but actually flourish, deepen through the tough stuff. It's a gift, really, to others, yes, but also profoundly to yourself.
Okay, let's start with that first side then. The art of apologizing. It's kind of an uncomfortable truth, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if you're in any relationship long enough...
Partner, family, friend, doesn't matter.
Right. You are absolutely going to hurt each other. It's almost guarantees.
Yeah.
And usually it's not out of, deliberate malice. It's because we're fallible. We're imperfect.
We just are.
We say the wrong thing. Maybe we're thoughtless when we needed to be mindful.
Yeah.
We make mistakes. Big ones, small ones. They leave a mark. It's just bound to happen.
And precisely because it's bound to happen, learning to apologize authentically, well, it isn't optional, is it? It's absolutely essential.
Yeah.
Dr. Attalla frames it so well. He says a genuine apology is what stops those small, everyday wounds from, festering, turning into deep resentment.
That's a powerful image. Festering.
It is. An apology takes what could be a relationship-ending mistake, potentially, and turns it into this opportunity, an opportunity for deeper connection. It actually allows love to grow stronger through the adversity.
Dr. Attalla uses this great metaphor, too. He describes an apology as building a bridge.
I like that one.
Yeah. Think about it, right? A bridge connects two separate places. When you apologize genuinely, you're building that connection back. You're saying, look, I care enough about your pain to see it, to acknowledge it.
To own my part.
Exactly. And I commit to doing something about it. It's not just words. It's like an act of construction.
Yeah.
Mending what was broken.
And the power of building that bridge, it's profound. And it's not just anecdotal. It's backed by research. What's really fascinating, I think, is the benefit for the person apologizing.
Right. You wouldn't necessarily think of that first.
No, but a genuine apology, it isn't just about fixing things with someone else. It's actually an act of self-respect. It literally lightens your own psychological load, reduces shame, guilt.
Okay, that makes sense.
And surprisingly, it boosts your emotional intelligence because you have to engage empathy to do it right. It's a gift you give yourself, truly, as much as the other person.
And then for the person receiving that apology, the impact is just huge. It's this powerful validation. It says, your pain matters, it's real, I see it.
Which is often exactly what's needed.
It restores dignity, that sense of worth, which can get really eroded by the original hurt. And crucially, it starts to rebuild trust. That willingness to be vulnerable again. It lets them heal, step back from the anger, the resentment.
And looking at the relationship itself, genuine apologies rebuild that core trust, that emotional safety, which is, the bedrock of any healthy connection.
Absolutely.
They improve communication, conflict resolution skills. They stop resentment from building up layer by layer. And importantly, they foster this culture of accountability, growth, instead of just blame and defensiveness.
Okay, but here's the kicker. Here's the crucial truth Dr. Attalla really emphasizes. Apologies are incredibly powerful when done right, but they are equally damaging when done wrong. A genuine apology, it can heal wounds, strengthen the bond, but a fake one, that just makes everything worse.
It adds insult to injury, deepens the hurt, absolutely.
Yeah.
And to really feel this difference, maybe take a moment just internally. Think about a time a really genuine apology shifted something for you. Maybe lifted, a path opened up in a relationship. Now, flip it. Think about a time when a poor apology, maybe dismissive, maybe full of excuses, made things significantly worse. What was the real impact? On you, on the relationship. Thinking about that contrast really helps clarify what works and what definitely doesn't.
That's a great exercise.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get why apologies matter so much. Now let's get into the how. How do we actually do it right? Dr. Attalla introduces what he calls a crucial truth. He says healing apologies need 4 essential elements.
Not just suggestions. Essential, like a framework.
Exactly, a framework for genuine repair. So element number 1, acknowledgement of the hurt.
Okay.
This is all about recognizing impact over intent. What does that actually mean? It means you're not arguing about whether you meant to cause harm. You're validating their experience.
Regardless of your intentions.
Precisely. You're saying something like, I see how what I did hurt you, or I understand that my words caused you pain. This is so vital because often the hurt person just needs to know their pain is seen. It's real. It's acknowledged.
Right. Element 2 is ownership without deflecting. This means taking full, clear responsibility, no excuses, no blame shifting, no trying to, explain it away in that moment.
Big difference between I was wrong,
yeah,
mistakes were made, or the classic conditional, I'm sorry if I hurt you. True ownership is clear. It's unequivocal. I messed up.
Got it. Okay, number 3, empathy for your partner's experience.
This one's crucial too.
This is about genuinely trying to understand how your actions landed for them. Not defending yourself, not minimizing their pain by saying, oh, it wasn't that big a deal.
No, it requires real curiosity about their inner world, rather than just this urgency to make yourself understood. You're trying to step into their shoes, really grasp their emotional reality.
Yeah, acknowledgement, ownership, empathy. And the 4th.
The 4th, and this is where so many apologies fall short, is repair efforts.
The action part.
Exactly. It's not just about the words, I'm sorry. It's about concrete actions, things that demonstrate you are truly committed to doing better, to rebuilding that trust. Because words are easy, right?
They can be. But showing up differently, that takes effort. That takes commitment. Many apologies stop at the words, and that lack of follow-through, well, it undermines everything, which leads us perfectly into talking more about actions versus words.
Right. But before we jump fully into actions, let's nail down the language. Dr. Attalla gives some really clear examples of what helps versus what hurts, what doesn't work.
Okay, top of the list. I'm sorry you feel that way.
Oh, the classic non-apology apology.
And it really is. It's deflection disguised as concern. It subtly blames them for their feelings, like their emotional response is the problem, not your actions.
Yeah, that lands badly. What else?
Avoid, I didn't mean it, so you shouldn't be upset. This just dismisses their reality. Your intent doesn't magically erase the impact.
So true. Intent isn't magic.
Nope. Or the, I'm sorry, but you also, that's a counterattack. You're immediately shifting the focus off your wrongdoing and onto theirs.
Not an apology at all.
Not really. And sorry if I hurt you, that conditional language, it casts doubt. It suggests maybe harm didn't even happen. And finally, I'm sorry you misunderstood. Pure blame shifting puts it all on their interpretation, not your communication. These phrases, they often do more harm than good.
Okay, so that's what not to say. What language does work? What helps heal?
Dr. Attalla gives some great examples. Simple, direct things like, I'm truly sorry for what I said. It was wrong, and I can see it hurt you.
Okay, that hits acknowledgement, ownership, bit of empathy.
Exactly. Or showing that curiosity we talked about. I want to understand more about how this affected you. Your feelings matter to me. That validates them.
Nice. What about the repair part in words?
You can bring it in directly. Here's what I'll do differently moving forward, and here's how you'll know I mean it.
Right.
That shows commitment to action right away. Or just pure ownership. I take full responsibility for my actions. There's no excuse for how I treated you. Clear. Unadulterated. And maybe I was completely wrong. Help me understand how to repair this with you. That's humble. It's responsible. It invites collaboration.
So the core message is...
Yeah.
It's not just the specific words, right?
Yeah.
It's the heart behind them.
Absolutely. It's the genuine remorse, the commitment to change, not just wanting the uncomfortable conversation to be over quickly. That's the difference. Real apologies feel different because they are different. They come from a place of accountability.
Which leads us right back to actions.
Right, because, look, most people get this wrong. They think saying, I'm sorry, is the finish line.
When it's really the starting gun.
Exactly. Dr. Attalla really hammers this home. Words without action, that's basically manipulation disguised as accountability. They're hollow gestures.
Yeah, think about it. If someone keeps apologizing for the exact same thing over and over, but never changes.
Those apologies become meaningless. Worse than meaningless, actually. Harmful.
How so?
Because they teach everyone involved that words are cheap, that promises don't mean anything. It just erodes trust, bit by bit, apology by empty apology.
No. Authentic repair needs behavioral change.
Absolutely. Your partner, or whoever you hurt, needs to see evidence. Real evidence that you've learned something, not just that you feel bad.
It's not about suddenly being perfect, though.
No, of course not. None of us are perfect. It's about demonstrable effort, showing that you're trying. So what does that look like? Maybe it's identifying your triggers, like recognizing, okay, I realize I get defensive when I'm really tired, so next time I'm going to pause the conversation if I notice that happening. That's a concrete prevention strategy.
Or making actual amends.
Yes. If trust was broken, maybe you offer more transparency for a while, openly sharing information that helps them feel safe again. If you drop the ball on responsibilities, maybe you create a system, a checklist, whatever, to stop it happening again.
And sometimes it might mean getting outside help.
Definitely. If there are deeper issues, maybe anger patterns, communication problems, sometimes seeking professional help is the most responsible repair effort you can make.
And crucially, it's about consistency.
Consistency is key. Following through over time. Proving that your apology wasn't just a heat-of-the-moment thing, it was a genuine commitment. And checking in regularly.
How does that sound?
Like asking, hey, how am I doing with those changes I promised? Or, is there anything else you need from me right now to feel safer, to rebuild trust? That ongoing engagement shows you're serious.
This really highlights what Dr. Attalla calls the apology without change trap.
Oh, it's such a damaging cycle.
When someone keeps saying sorry, but the behavior never shifts, they're basically saying, I want your forgiveness, but I don't want to do the hard work of actually being different.
Exactly. And it creates this toxic dynamic where the hurt person feels, well, kind of obligated to forgive, right? Because, hey, they apologized.
But nothing actually gets better.
Right. And this is the cruel twist. It weaponizes forgiveness against the hurt partner. They start to feel like they're the problem. Why am I so unforgiving? Why am I holding a grudge?
When really they're just responding to a lack of real change.
Precisely. It's a reasonable response to an empty promise. So how do you spot these empty apologies? Dr. Attalla gives some red flags.
Okay. What should we look out for?
Well, the most obvious is the same issue keeps cropping up, despite all the sorries. Promises get made, but they just evaporate. No follow-through.
Defensiveness.
Huge one. The apologizer gets defensive or irritable when you ask about progress or accountability. They might spend way more energy explaining why it happened again rather than focusing on how to stop it happening again.
And maybe the apology itself feels rushed.
Yeah, often it feels like the main goal is just to shut down the conflict quickly, get things back to normal, not actually understand the impact or commit to repair.
So the big takeaway here is true accountability, words plus sustained action.
That's the formula. Your partner doesn't need perfection. Nobody does. But they need to see that you're genuinely committed to growth. They need evidence.
Evidence that the apology actually led to self-reflection, to real behavioral changes and consistent effort over time.
That's why that fourth element, repair efforts, is non-negotiable. It's where the apology proves itself. Is it real healing or just words?
Okay, so even if we have the best intentions, it sounds like we can still fall into some common traps. Let's unpack those apology mistakes Dr. Attalla points out and how to avoid them. First up, that one we mentioned, the conditional apology.
I'm sorry if I hurt you.
Right. It's so common, but why is it bad?
Because that little word if places doubt. It questions whether harm even happened. And it subtly puts the burden on the hurt person like, well, if you were hurt, I guess I'm sorry. It lacks clear ownership.
So the better approach is?
Just be direct. I'm sorry I hurt you. Or I'm sorry for the pain my actions caused. Own it fully.
Okay. Next mistake. The excuse-laden apology.
I'm sorry, but...
I was stressed. I was tired. I had a bad day.
Right. Look, context might be relevant later when you're discussing prevention. But it does not belong in the initial apology.
Why not?
Because the but negates everything that came before it. It sounds like you're justifying the behavior, not taking responsibility for it. Start with pure accountability. Then, maybe later, you can talk about contributing factors not as excuses, but as things to manage better next time.
Got it. Keep the apology clean first.
Yeah.
What about the guilt trip apology?
Ugh. Phrases like, I'm such a terrible person, or I always mess everything up.
That sounds like taking responsibility now.
It sounds like it, but it's actually a subtle shift. It makes it about your distress, your self-flagellation, and what does that do?
It forces the other person to comfort you.
Exactly. The person who is hurt now has to manage your feelings about hurting them. Keep the focus on their experience and what you will do differently, not on how awful you feel about yourself.
Okay, that's a really important distinction. Now, this one seems tricky. How do you apologize when you genuinely don't think you did anything wrong?
Yeah, this comes up a lot. Intentions and impact just don't line up sometimes.
So what do? You can't fake remorse, right?
No, you shouldn't fake it. The key, again, as Dr. Attalla emphasizes, is focusing on impact over intent. You can still validate their experience even if you don't agree with their interpretation of your motives.
How would that sound?
Something like, okay, I hear you. I can see that what I said really hurt you, and even though that wasn't my intention at all, I am truly sorry for the pain my words caused.
So you're apologizing for the impact the pain caused, not necessarily admitting malicious intent you didn't have.
Precisely. You can take responsibility for your part in the miscommunication, or maybe the timing was bad, or perhaps you were insensitive without meaning to be. You acknowledge their reality. I see this hurt you, and apologize for the pain experienced. I'm sorry my words caused that pain.
That makes sense. It validates them without requiring you to agree on the why.
Exactly. It keeps the door open for understanding.
Okay, as you're listening, maybe pause and reflect on this. Think about a time you might have defaulted to, but I didn't mean it. How might shifting the focus to the impact your words or actions had, how might that have changed the whole conversation? Could it have led to a more constructive place, even if your intention was good?
It's a powerful reframe.
So we've dissected the genuine apology, looked at the pitfalls. Now let's shift gears slightly. How do we make apologizing not just a reaction to big blow-ups, but a regular, ongoing part of a healthy relationship? How do we build an apology practice?
I love this idea because Dr. Attalla makes a great point. The best relationships, they aren't the ones where people magically never mess up.
Right. That's impossible.
Totally impossible. The best relationships are the ones where people get really, really good at repairing when they inevitably do mess up. And that takes practice. It means building accountability skills like a muscle, creating a culture where it's safe to own mistakes.
So how does this look practically? Dr. Attalla suggests different levels, like daily micro-apologies.
Yeah, small stuff like, hey, I'm sorry I was short with you this morning. I was stressed about that meeting, but that's no excuse. I didn't mean to snap.
Just acknowledging the small impacts quickly.
Exactly. Stops them from building up. Then maybe weekly check-ins, proactively asking, maybe on a Sunday evening, hey, was there anything I did this week? Even small things that hurt or disappointed you.
Wow, that takes vulnerability.
It does, but it creates incredible safety. And for more structured growth, Dr. Attalla outlines this really powerful repair ritual. It's a 4-step process.
Okay, walk us through it.
Step 1, pause and reflect. Before you even open your mouth to apologize, take some time alone. Get clear. Ask yourself those key questions internally. What exactly did I do that caused hurt? How did it likely feel from their perspective? What pattern or trigger in me led to this? And critically, what specific changes can I commit to? This internal work is vital. Don't skip it.
Okay, so do the inner work first. Step 2.
Step 2. Apologize completely. Now you go to your partner. And you use all 4 of those elements we talked about. Acknowledge the specific hurt clearly. Take full ownership, no excuses. Show genuine empathy for their experience. And state your commitment to concrete repair actions. Do the whole thing.
Right. Step 3.
Step 3. Follow through consistently. This is where the apology proves itself. You actually do the behavioral changes you promised.
Words into action.
Exactly. And you check in about your progress. You stay patient with their healing. Remember, forgiveness is on their timeline. And you keep up the new behavior even after they seem okay. Consistency rebuilds trust.
Makes sense. And step 4.
Step 4, learn and grow. Don't just fix it and forget it. Reflect on what this whole thing taught you about yourself, about your patterns. Maybe share those insights with your partner that vulnerability can deepen intimacy. Use the learning to prevent it happening again. And importantly, express gratitude for their willingness to work through it with you.
Wow, that's a really thorough process. Pause, apologize, completely, follow through, learn and grow.
It really covers all the bases for deep repair. Ultimately, Dr. Attalla drives home this powerful truth. The best apology is changed behavior.
Right. Actions speak loudest.
The second best, he says, is a genuine acknowledgement that leads to changed behavior. Your words open the door, but it's your actions that walk through it. Your partner is watching. Are you choosing growth or just temporary peace?
Choose growth. Choose change. Choose to be someone worth forgiving by becoming someone who learns.
Exactly. The couples who make it long-term aren't the ones who avoid conflict. They're the ones who master repair, who get really good at taking responsibility.
Such a crucial skill set.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a powerful bridge then to the other side of this coin, the transformative power of forgiveness.
The receiving end and also the internal process.
Yeah. And here's something we all know deep down, right? That
Yeah.
we all carry wounds, often from people we've loved deeply. Sometimes the deepest cuts come from those closest to us.
It's often true, not necessarily because they're cruel, but because they have access to our most vulnerable spots.
Exactly. And when that happens, you face this profound choice about what to do with that pain.
You do. You can carry it, right? Like a heavy stone in your chest, letting it weigh you down more and more over time. Or you can learn the art of forgiveness, and this is key. Not primarily for their sake, but for your own freedom, your own peace.
That's such an important reframing. Forgiveness is self-liberation, and Dr. Attalla really highlights this. Genuine forgiveness doesn't just heal relationships.
Yeah.
It heals you.
The research here is stunning. People who practice forgiveness experience these profound, measurable benefits. Emotionally, yes. Less depression, anxiety, anger, more capacity for love, empathy.
But physically, too.
Absolutely. Lower blood pressure. Reduce chronic inflammation and pain, better sleep, stronger immune function, improved cardiovascular health. It's quite incredible.
Wow.
And in the brain, you actually see changes, increased activity in empathy and emotional regulation centers, decreased activity in stress and rumination areas.
It's that old saying from the Buddha.
Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Yeah. Dr. Attalla reminds us that's not just poetic wisdom. It's biological reality.
It is. When you hold on to resentment, bitterness, your body stays bathed in stress hormones. Your nervous system is constantly on edge. It can't shift into rest and repair mode.
So forgiveness is literally a pathway to physical and mental health. It's a gift you give yourself. Choosing your peace over staying stuck in that hurt. Deciding your future matters more than your past pain.
Precisely. But before we dive deeper into how to forgive, Dr. Attalla makes a really critical distinction, one that trips a lot of people up. Forgiveness versus reconciliation.
Okay, yeah, they often get tangled together. How are they different?
So forgiveness, first and foremost, is internal. It's for you. It's about your healing, your peace, releasing your resentment. And importantly, you can forgive someone even if they never apologize, never acknowledge the hurt, never change.
It doesn't depend on them at all.
Not at all. It's your internal process of letting go for your own freedom. Reconciliation, on the other hand, that's relational. It's for us.
Yeah.
It's about rebuilding the connection, the trust.
And that does depend on the other person.
Absolutely. Reconciliation requires mutual effort. It needs acknowledgement of the harm, usually a sincere apology, changed behavior over time, and effort from both sides to rebuild.
Okay, that's a huge clarification. So you can forgive someone.
And choose not to reconcile, maybe because they haven't changed or aren't safe, or simply because the trust is too broken to rebuild that particular relationship.
And you can also be working towards reconciliation while still being in the process of forgiving.
Exactly. They're related, but they are separate tracks. Understanding this difference saves so much confusion and unnecessary guilt. Never, ever let anyone pressure you into reconciling just because you've chosen the path of forgiveness for yourself. Your safety and well-being come first.
Okay, super important distinction. Now, let's tackle some common myths about forgiveness.
Yeah.
Dr. Attalla says these myths keep people stuck or even make them vulnerable. He says real forgiveness is about taking your power back, not giving it away.
Right, so let's bust some myths. What forgiveness is not to.
Okay, myth number 1.
It is not approving or excusing the bad behavior. You can forgive someone while still holding firmly that what they did was wrong, harmful, unacceptable. Forgiveness doesn't mean minimizing the impact or pretending it didn't matter.
Okay, that's big. What else is it not?
It's not just moving on without healing. You know, that whole forgive and forget idea. Trying to bypass the pain just means the wound festers. True forgiveness requires facing the hurt first. And related to that, it's not literally forgetting. Amnesia isn't required. In fact, remembering the lesson learned is often part of the wisdom gained.
Right, you don't have to erase the memory.
No. And crucially, forgiveness is not letting go of justice or accountability. You can forgive someone personally while still supporting appropriate consequences for their actions, whether legal, relational, or otherwise. And it is not dependent on the other person apologizing or changing. Your freedom isn't held hostage by their choices.
That's empowering.
It really is. And finally, it is not being a doormat. Healthy forgiveness often leads to stronger, clearer boundaries, not weaker ones. You forgive for your peace, and then you protect yourself wisely going forward.
Okay, so that's what it isn't. What forgiveness is then?
It is a conscious choice to release resentment for your own well-being. You prioritize your peace, your future, over staying stuck in past pain. It is a process, often unfolding over time in layers. Be patient with yourself.
Not a one-time event.
Rarely. And it is compatible with strong, appropriate boundaries. Boundaries aren't walls to keep everyone out. They're gates you manage wisely based on trust and behavior. Forgiveness is about your freedom, regardless of their behavior. And it's possible even when there are ongoing consequences for the other person. Ultimately, it is a pathway to inner peace.
Wow. Okay, listener, take a second here. Which of those myths about forgiveness have maybe held you back? Which ones have you perhaps believed? And how might reframing it, seeing what forgiveness truly is and isn't, how might that shift your approach to a hurt you're carrying?
They can really unlock things when you see it differently.
Definitely. Now, forgiveness isn't just one thing. Dr. Attalla, drawing on research, points out there are actually two distinct types.
Right. There's decisional forgiveness. This is a conscious choice you make with your mind. You decide to let go of resentment, to stop seeking revenge or dwelling on the hurt. You make a commitment to treat the person differently. Maybe avoid less. Maybe work toward restoration if that's appropriate and safe.
So it's more of a behavioral intention.
Kind of. It's a cognitive decision to change your stance. Its main benefit is reducing conflict and helping repair relationships if the other person is also doing their part.
Okay. And the second type?
That's emotional forgiveness. This is when your heart catches up with your head. It's when the negative emotions, the anger, the hurt, the bitterness actually transform. They lessen, and maybe they're eventually replaced by more positive or neutral feelings like peace, empathy, maybe even compassion or understanding.
So that's the deeper shift.
Cool. That's the deeper emotional shift. And this type of forgiveness is much more strongly linked to those personal well-being benefits we talked about: reduced stress, improved health, greater peace.
Is it possible to have one without the other?
Absolutely. It's very common to make the decision to forgive relatively quickly, but for the emotional forgiveness to take much, much longer. And that's okay. Don't rush the emotional process. Honor where you are.
That's really helpful. Okay, so knowing it's a process, Dr. Attalla offers a framework, a kind of map for this healing journey. He outlines 4 phases of forgiveness.
Yeah, and it's important to see this as a path, not a rigid checklist. You might move back and forth between phases.
Right, not linear. So phase 1, the uncovering phase, facing the hurt, honestly.
This is where it has to start. You can't heal what you don't acknowledge. So many people try to skip this, jump straight to letting it go.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't stick. In this phase, you really allow yourself to explore the full impact of what happened. Ask yourself internally, what exactly occurred? Be specific. What were the emotional, psychological, maybe even physical impacts on me? How did it change how I see the world or relationships or my ability to trust?
So it's about really understanding the depth of the wound.
Yes. Instead of minimizing it or pushing it away, avoiding the pain prevents the healing. This isn't about wallowing or becoming a permanent victim. It's about giving yourself permission to feel the truth of your experience before you try to move past it. Our culture pushes us to get over it quickly, but healing requires moving through the pain, not around it.
Okay. Listener, maybe think for a moment.
Yeah.
Is there a wound, big or small, that you've been maybe avoiding looking at too closely? What would it mean to just gently, honestly name its full impact on you?
Just naming it can be incredibly powerful.
All right. Phase 2, the decision phase, choosing to forgive.
Now that you face the hurt, you arrive at a conscious choice point. Remember, forgiveness is always a choice, never an obligation. You decide if and when you're ready.
And the core of this decision is?
It's often framed as, I choose my peace over this bitterness. I choose my future over staying tied to this past pain. You weigh the costs and benefits. What's the cost of holding on to this resentment, the chronic stress, the mental energy drain, the walls it builds, versus the potential benefits of forgiving the lighter load, the mental freedom, the energy freed up for growth, the possibility of restored intimacy, if appropriate, the release from that prison of bitterness?
I'm reminding yourself again.
It doesn't mean the other person deserves it. It means you deserve peace. That's who this choice is for.
Okay. Phase 3 feels like maybe the hardest one for many people. The understanding phase, expanding compassion without excusing.
Yeah, this is often the most challenging and sometimes the most transformative phase. Here, you actively try to see the person who hurt you through a wider lens.
But without excusing what they did.
Absolutely crucial distinction. You're not making excuses for them. You're trying to understand the context that might have shaped their actions. Ask yourself internally, what was their upbringing like? What wounds might they carry? What pressures or stresses were they under at the time? Could their actions have come from a place of fear or insecurity or maybe their own unhealed trauma? What patterns might they be unconsciously repeating?
Why do this? Why try to understand someone who hurt you?
Again, it's not about letting them off the hook or taking responsibility for their choices. It's about understanding the context so that the hurt loses some of its power over you. When we can see someone's humanity, even their brokenness, their fears, their limitations, their wounds, it often dissolves some of the intense emotional charge around what they did.
It doesn't make it okay.
Never makes it okay, but it can make it more comprehensible. And pain that feels comprehensible is often easier to release than pain that feels random or purely malicious. You might find yourself thinking hurt people, while still holding firm that their hurt doesn't justify hurting others.
Okay, that makes sense. Understanding to liberate yourself, not to excuse them. And finally, phase 4, the meaning phase, finding growth in the wound.
This is where deep healing truly happens. The wound transforms. It stops being just a source of pain and becomes also a source of wisdom, strength, resilience.
Moving beyond just getting over it.
Yes. You don't just move on, you move forward, but changed. Wiser. Stronger in some way. Remember Viktor Frankl's profound insight from the concentration camps. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. This phase is about claiming that freedom.
How do you do that?
You explore internally. Okay, despite the pain, how have I actually grown through this? What did I learn about my own strength, my boundaries, my resilience? What wisdom about love or trust or relationships did this experience teach me, even the hard way? How can I use this insight now to protect myself better, empower myself, maybe even help others?
So it's about actively extracting the wisdom from the suffering?
Exactly. It doesn't celebrate what happened, not at all. But it reclaims your power over its narrative. You shift from victim to survivor, maybe even eventually to thriver. The pain might still be part of your story, but it's not the whole story. It becomes part of a larger narrative of growth.
Uncovering, decision, understanding, meaning. Those are the phases.
But, and this is really crucial, forgiveness is a spiral, not a straight line.
Ah, okay. Good reminder.
You will move through these phases, and then you might find yourself looping back. Maybe anger flares up again after you thought you'd decided to forgive. Maybe you need to revisit understanding. That is completely normal. Healing isn't neat and tidy.
So it's not like you failed if you feel angry again.
Not at all. These phases aren't a checklist you tick off once. They're a pathway you might revisit many times. But each time you spiral through, hopefully the pain gets a little lighter, the understanding gets deeper, the meaning becomes clear. You're not going backwards, you're going deeper into your healing.
That's really reassuring.
Ultimately, as Dr. Attalla puts it, forgiveness is not forgetting. It's choosing peace again and again until it becomes your new home.
Choosing peace again and again. I like
right.
that. Okay, so we've journeyed through the phases. Let's get practical again. What are some tools Dr. Attalla offers from the workbook for this personal healing journey?
One really powerful tool is writing a forgiveness letter.
We talked about reflecting internally, but this is actually writing it down.
Yes. And the key here is this letter is primarily for you, for your clarity, your processing, your closure, your freedom. You absolutely do not have to send it. You don't have to show it to anyone. You could even write it and then burn it or shred it.
So the power is in the act of writing itself.
Exactly. It helps you organize your thoughts, really articulate the feelings, move through those forgiveness phases in a concrete way. It gives you a safe space to be completely brutally honest without worrying about how the other person will react.
Okay. Dr. Attalla gives some prompts to guide this.
He does. They follow the phases, really. You might start with, This is what you did to me. Be specific. Then, this is how it affected me. Describe the full impact, emotional, physical, relational. Next, this is how it still lingers. Acknowledge how the pain still shows up in your life now.
Then moving towards forgiveness.
Right. This is how I imagine my life if I let this go. Envision that freedom. Then, this is how I've tried to understand you. Share any insights from that understanding phase, again, without excusing. Then, the core. This is how I am choosing to forgive. Articulate your decision and what it means to you.
And finding the meaning.
Yes, these are the strengths I will carry forward. Identify the resilience you discovered. And finally, this is what I've learned from this. Capture the wisdom gained.
Listener, as you hear these prompts, maybe just mentally sketch out some thoughts for a hurt you're working with. See how putting words to it, even just internally following this structure, might feel.
It can be incredibly clarifying. Dr. Attalla also mentions other personal forgiveness rituals. Things like a burning ceremony, writing down what you're releasing and safely burning it. Or a rock release, finding a stone, holding it while you focus on the pain, then physically releasing it into water or burying it. Or specific forgiveness meditations, or starting a gratitude practice focused on the strength you found.
So finding a symbolic action that resonates.
Exactly. Something that makes the internal shift feel more tangible.
Okay, let's bring this back to the relationship itself. We talked about an apology practice. What about forgiveness in relationships, creating a forgiveness culture?
Yes, because just like apologies, Dr. Attalla argues the healthiest relationships aren't ones free from hurt, but ones where forgiveness flows pretty freely, in both directions. And again, this requires practice. It needs to be active, not just reactive.
So similar levels as with apologies.
Kind of. There's daily forgiveness, consciously letting go of the small stuff at the end of the day. Minor irritations, little disappointments, just a mental release. Okay, I forgive you for being late. I let that go. Then maybe weekly clearing, setting aside time to talk about anything bigger that might be building up before it turns into resentment.
Proactive clearing.
Yeah. And couples can also create specific couples forgiveness practices. Dr. Attalla suggests things like a forgiveness circle. Maybe once a week, you sit together and each person shares one small thing they forgive the other for from the past week. No discussion, no defensiveness. Just speak it and witness the other person speaking theirs.
That sounds simple, but potentially powerful.
It can be. Or for bigger hurts, maybe creating a shared healing ritual together. Lighting a candle, sharing what you're each releasing, maybe stating a shared commitment to moving forward differently, or even a gratitude for growth practice, appreciating the lessons you've learned together through navigating difficult times.
And what about when you're on the other side? Maybe you're the one who caused the hurt, or you're supporting a partner who is trying to forgive you or someone else. How do you support their forgiveness journey?
This is crucial. First, be patient. So patient. Remember, forgiveness is on their timeline, not yours. Pressuring them to get over it is counterproductive. It usually makes it take longer.
Don't rush them.
Never rush them. Second, try not to take their process personally. If they're struggling to forgive, it's about their internal wrestling with pain and trust. It's not necessarily a judgment on your inherent worth, especially if you are doing the work of repair.
What else?
Show up with consistency. If you're the one who caused hurt, the best support you can offer is proving your apology was real through sustained, changed behavior. Day in, day out. Create safety for their emotions. Let them be angry, sad, doubtful, without you getting defensive. And respect their boundaries as they heal.
Okay, that's really practical advice for supporting someone else's process.
It makes a huge difference.
Wow. What an incredibly rich deep dive. We've really covered a lot. Guided by Dr. Nader Attalla's wisdom in the Couple Therapy Workbook, we saw how vital genuine apologies are, with those 4 key elements: acknowledgement, ownership, empathy, and repair efforts, and how absolutely critical follow-through with actions is. Words aren't enough.
Mm-hmm. And then we explored the other side, the truly transformative power of forgiveness, not just for the relationship, but so profoundly for your own healing, your emotional health, your physical health, understanding it's a process, often moving through phases like uncovering, deciding, understanding, and finding meaning, and using tools like the forgiveness letter. It empowers you to navigate even the deepest hurts.
It really does feel empowering. Knowing that relational challenges hurts. They're inevitable. They're part of life, part of love. But they don't have to be the end of the story.
Not at all. They can be opportunities. These skills, authentic apology, heartfelt forgiveness, they equip us. They give us the tools to navigate these bumps, these wounds, with more grace, more strength, more resilience.
So the invitation is really to embrace these as ongoing practices, right? A continuous journey of growth, not just a one-time fix or some finish line you cross.
Exactly. It's about building these muscles over time.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, here's a final thought for you, our listener, to maybe carry with you. Building on everything we've explored, as you reflect on apologies and forgiveness, consider this. What one small, genuine apology could you perhaps offer today? Or what one small step towards forgiveness, maybe for yourself, maybe for another, are you truly ready to take? Choosing growth and connection over staying stuck.
Just one small step can begin to shift everything.